Two billionaires. Same world, different rules. Same circles, different lifestyles. Elon Musk builds rockets. Sean Diddy combs through freak-off parties with no cameras allowed. Now Diddy is under federal investigation for sex trafficking, violence, and more. And Musk? He calls Diddy a good friend. We text a lot, Musk said. So here's the question. Could Diddy's collapse take Musk and his billionaire image down with him? When Elon Musk bought Twitter, the internet lost its mind. But behind the memes, the chaos, and the $44 billion price tag, something strange slipped by unnoticed. Sean Diddy Combs was one of the investors, and Musk was upfront about it. In a late 2024 interview with The New Republic, Musk casually dropped this line. "I don't know if you know this, but Puff is an investor in Twitter. He's a good friend of mine. We text a lot." But hold on a second. Diddy wasn't on the public list of investors when Musk took Twitter private. While Diddy would have been an interesting and curious name on this list, the names back then were more what you'd expect. Sequoia Capital, Binance, Andreessen Horowitz, a few Saudi royals, a smattering of billionaires and tech funds. But Musk didn't include Diddy in the official paperwork, at least not visibly. His name never showed up in SEC filings or mainstream reporting until much later. One can't help but wonder why Diddy may not have been included in that list of investors. So, what kind of investor was Diddy? According to Musk, Diddy bought in privately as part of a smaller cultural push. Some speculated it was for optics, bringing in a high-profile black figure to offset Musk's increasingly chaotic handling of content moderation, political speech, and advertiser backlash. But nothing has been confirmed. And the friendship? There's no solid proof that Musk and Diddy were ever seen together at private events. But they've definitely crossed social paths. Musk and Diddy were both present at Dave Chappelle's Netflix comedy event in 2022, and Diddy had previously praised Musk publicly, calling him brilliant in interviews. Diddy has long orbited tech money. He even invested in a health startup, Alkaline 88, and once tried to acquire a majority stake in Revolt TV using Silicon Valley connections. So even if the investment was small, it wasn't random. It wasn't just about money. It was about proximity, about who got access. Diddy wasn't pitching tech startups or sitting on venture boards. He wasn't a Silicon Valley regular. But somehow, he got the invite. That tells you something. Maybe it was about culture, maybe about influence, or maybe it was just power recognizing power. Two billionaires who understood the value of being seen in the right rooms, even quietly. And we text a lot? That doesn't sound like business only. Remember, this was at a time when Musk was bleeding advertisers, banning journalists, and rebranding Twitter into X. Public confidence was shaky. Internal trust was worse. Having a cultural titan like Diddy in his corner, even quietly, may have offered a useful narrative. But now that same friend is on trial for sex trafficking, gun violations, and assault allegations spanning decades. Musk never mentioned him again after that quote. The texts stopped being a flex. In hindsight, this wasn't just a footnote in the Twitter saga. It was a warning sign. Elon Musk's good friend, Sean Diddy Combs, is now the central figure in one of the most explosive federal trials of 2025. A trial that feels ripped straight from a Hollywood set, but with criminals, accusers, and explicit video footage. The kind of spectacle that can hurt even the strongest billionaire brand. It started on May 5th, 2025, when Combs was indicted on multiple charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force or coercion, and transporting people for prostitution. For over 6 weeks in a Manhattan federal court, prosecutors have brought forward a parade of more than 30 witnesses, including ex-girlfriends, assistants, bodyguards, and former employees, each painting a picture of a criminal empire operating behind the veil of celebrity and luxury. One of the most chilling accounts came from Mia, a former assistant who testified under a pseudonym. She described a drug-fueled environment, high-pressure parties, coerced sexual encounters, and psychological control. Her story echoed the same themes from others: isolation, manipulation, fear. Prosecutors even presented video footage, private recordings of what witnesses called freak-off events, played for jurors individually via headphones to avoid mistrials over graphic content. Then came the hallway video, a 2016 surveillance clip showing Diddy physically assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, backing up her claims of years of emotional and physical abuse. According to testimony, Combs maintained a violent grip on his inner circle, allegedly using hush money, threats, and bribes to suppress evidence and silence witnesses. One staffer testified that he ran the operation like a crew, code for organized crime. Testimony went further. Private jet travel for escorts, text messages ordering expensive gifts for accusers, and evidence suggesting tax fraud and shell companies. The prosecution floated the possibility of an eventual RICO case, placing Combs in the same legal category as mob bosses and drug lords. As of late June, the prosecution is wrapping its case. In a move that stunned courtroom observers, Combs' legal team announced they would not call a single defense witness, not even Combs himself. The judge advised the jury not to interpret that as guilt. But in the court of public opinion, silence often screams. If convicted, Combs faces life in prison. And even if he walks free, his image has taken a brutal hit. Brands have cut ties. Former partners are turning on him. There's already a Netflix docuseries in production. And every time a new witness speaks, more names are whispered in the background. That's where Elon Musk comes in. The uglier this trial becomes, the more that offhand "we text a lot" quote looks like liability. There's no public suggestion Musk was involved in anything illegal, but public perception doesn't wait for proof. Musk's empire thrives on invincibility, audacity, myth. But myths crack when the wrong name shows up in your contact list. And this name? The one under federal investigation, with surveillance videos, tearful testimonies, and a possible RICO designation, isn't just a bad look. It's a potential fracture. Even if Musk never says Diddy's name again. We've all seen wealth before. But what Diddy and Musk have built? It's a different beast, Sean "Diddy" Combs once flaunted. Picture this. A $25 million Gulfstream G550, nicknamed Combs Air, used to zip him to international parties in St. Bart's and chartered out just to fund his defense. He owned a 17,000 square foot, 10-bedroom mansion in Holmby Hills, worth over $61 million, plus a pair of waterfront homes on Miami's Star Island totaling roughly $35 million. His car collection once included Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, worth millions. And then there was the blacked-out jet, a custom Gulfstream rumored to be worth $60 million, a flying monument to self-branding. The parties were even louder. Reports came of million-dollar yacht rentals in Cannes, white dress code soirees in Beverly Hills, and invite-only gatherings filled with A-listers, models, and an army of NDAs. His lifestyle was the kind that didn't whisper wealth. It screamed it through velvet ropes and crystal bottles. There were butlers, exotic chefs, hidden camera systems. It wasn't just luxury. It was curation, a stage where excess became identity. Elon Musk, by contrast, sells simplicity. He claims to sleep in Tesla factories and live in a $50,000 prefab home. But the humble image hides a fleet of private jets worth more than $100 million, including a $78 million Gulfstream G700. His aircraft portfolio includes G650E RS, G550S, and a Dassault Falcon 900B, all registered through a shell company, Falcon Landing LLC. In 2024, he quietly acquired a $35 million compound in Austin, 3 villas surrounded by security, custom landscaping, and proximity to SpaceX and Tesla's Texas HQ. That came just after selling a $29 million mansion in Bel Air. The Monk Act plays well, but the numbers tell a different story. And Musk doesn't fly commercial. He doesn't eat in public diners. He's not catching Ubers between SpaceX meetings. His lifestyle is tech god elite, just dressed down in memes and sound bites. Even his alleged frugality comes wrapped in custom-built compounds, multi-million-dollar NDAs, and staff who manage his movements like a classified schedule. So here's the collision. One billionaire lives loud, the other performs austerity, but neither shies from ultra-high-end assets. Diddy's wealth screams excess, Musk's whispers prestige, but both speak billionaire, in cash, in control. And there's a deeper question. If Diddy's collapse stains actual indulgence, does it also stain performative simplicity? Musk paints himself as the anti-billionaire, but the same jets, the same compounds, the same headline-grabbing scale are real. Diddy's downfall isn't just about one man. It redefines how billionaire behavior is read, whether flashy or disguised. It's not just about money, it's about image. Diddy embraced his flamboyance. Musk built his myth on the edge between brilliance and restraint. But now, with Diddy's empire unraveling in public, that veneer may crack. When one billionaire's lifestyle implodes, it doesn't just echo, it resonates through the entire billionaire blueprint. Now that Diddy is in court, every whisper around him becomes a potential threat for anyone who ever hung out in his orbit. And yes, that includes Elon Musk. There are no legal ties between Musk and the allegations, but lawyers and PR experts will tell you, perception is often stronger than proof. And with Diddy's trial dragging every flashy detail into the open, parties, private jets, hush money, associates get drenched in the fallout. Advertisers fled X faster than headlines could print. The platform leaked revenue last spring. That kind of financial hit starts with people, and Musk is still the face of it. When a friend, like Diddy, is revealed to have texted private staff about escorts or brandished assault videos, it casts a shadow, even if you weren't there. And this is different from old-school scandals. This isn't about tax evasion or boardroom drama. This is about abuse, power, and systemic violence. It strikes nerves in every demographic, across every media line. Brands don't want to be seen next to it, even by proxy. Look at other high-profile cases. CEOs distancing themselves from boards after criminal allegations. Politicians targeted because of campaign donors. Brand collaborations yanked when trouble starts. Sometimes guilt isn't legal, it's reputational. One bad relationship can prompt sponsors to reevaluate contracts, advertisers to pause campaigns, and partners to freeze initiatives. Musk's own empire is built on this myth of detachment. He insists he's aloof, anti-establishment, above the fray. But behind the scenes, he's corporate through and through. Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, all heavily reliant on brand trust, ad deals, federal contracts, and public goodwill. Now imagine that glowing world colliding with courtroom testimony about internal control structures, secret payments, and emotional humiliation. Even an innocuous friend's name can break a narrative, leading to awkward questions. What did you know, and when did you know it? Musk's team hasn't publicly defended or distanced themselves. They remained radio silent after his "we text a lot" comment, and they've stayed quiet since. But silence can speak volumes. When questions erupt in the press, why is the richest man in the world friends with an alleged trafficker? There's no script that cuts through effectively. The risk isn't legal, it's psychological. Public trust cracks, investor confidence shakes, consumer sentiment cools. Musk weathered Twitter backlash before, but this is different. This touches on sexual violence, power abuse, and systemic control, topics that soda commercials and flashy tech unveilings can't wash over. Worst case, advertisers freeze buys again, federal agencies begin informal reviews, and election regulators ask tough questions about influence on digital discourse. Even Musk's notorious defiance, bans, rants, unpredictability, could look staged once he's linked to someone under RICO suspicion. It might never happen. We text a lot could be just that. Messaging, nothing more. But even a hint of it? That's enough in today's zero-tolerance media age. One friendship can unravel a carefully crafted empire, even if it never made it into formal partnerships or filings. If you were building a new version of Twitter, one that walked a tightrope between free speech and advertiser suspicion, who do you want backing it? Apparently, not just tech VCs, but celebrity cachet. Enter Sean Diddy Combs. Court documents later revealed that Sean Combs' capital was part of the nearly 100 stakeholders in Musk's $44 billion Twitter X purchase. Another analysis from independent outlets confirmed he was listed among names like Bill Ackman, Larry Ellison, and Jack Dorsey. Some later reports pegged Diddy's investment at around $10 million. Not a rounding error, but not a board-shaking amount either. So why did it matter? Was this a vanity gesture or a strategic play? First, there's cultural optics. Diddy brings megawatt celebrity with a black cultural fan base. He's not just a rapper, he's a lifestyle brand. Cyrock, Revolt, Sean John, Revolt TV, Alkaline 88, even holographic startups. His audience is global, diverse, young, and advertisers crave that. Musk likely knew public sentiment could shift from outrage to ambivalence if people saw a familiar face in the investor roster. It wasn't just a check, it was a message. Second, business influence. Diddy has deep networks. Entertainment execs, Hollywood, fashion moguls, sports stars, all slotted into brand partnerships and distribution deals. A friend in that circle could open fast lanes for content, deals, even bailout windows through word of mouth. This wasn't some passive LP. It was someone who knew how to shape culture and had proof of it. Third, maybe it was pure business variety. Diddy has invested in startups before, from water brands to holograms. The man funded Proto, a holographic communications company, and helped bankroll Aquahydrate's aggressive growth push. So it's not a stretch for him to park capital in an ambitious tech pivot like X. It's the portfolio diversification play, one more feather in a billion-dollar cap. Still, the wild card is narrative. Musk later spotlighted the link in a conversation with Revolt CEO DeTavio Samuels, saying, "Puff is an investor in Twitter, a good friend of mine. We text a lot." That line carried weight. It framed Diddy's role not as random but as relational, valued, and personal. Was Diddy a strategic hedge, a cultural emblem, a cosmic branding experiment, or simply a billionaire making another investment? The truth is, only Musk and his inner circle know. But the fact that the question is even being asked, amid trial testimony about criminal excess, it speaks to how entangled power, image, and celebrity have already become. Even a passive investment now reads like a move on the chessboard. This is where the mystery thickens. We know Musk and Diddy text, maybe even shared laughs at Chappelle's show. But was there more to the relationship? What untold connections are still hidden backstage? We don't have public evidence of private dinners or Vegas weekends together, but both run in overlapping circles. Hollywood heavyweights, art collectors, club promoters. Diddy hosted lavish events in hidden mansions. Musk quietly attended after-parties tied to celebrity launches. Shared friends include top-tier talent agents, luxury event producers, and mutual collaborators on celebrity fundraising and cause campaigns. There are murmurings of cameos in each other's world, whispers that Musk once appeared at a Bad Boy Records anniversary bash, and that Diddy showed up at a Tesla charity gala. Neither detail has been confirmed, but even rumors show the potential depth of their proximity and the environment of access around each man. Look at their entourages. A roll call of celebrity stylists, press handlers, security teams with crossover in event coverage. Photographers have tracked both to Power 100 parties and private yacht trips, but never together in a single frame. These shared vectors don't prove a tight relationship, but they shape the narrative puzzle. Then there's timing. Diddy invested amid Twitter's most chaotic phase: advertiser fleeing, political pressure, rebranding to X. That period also saw Musk hosting Hollywood parties to attract A-listers, hoping influencers would chase cultural normalization. Diddy could have been quietly helping guide that normalization, or acting as a handshake between Musk and the music world. Still, the public record is thin. We don't know if they ever consulted over branding or if Diddy ever raised concerns privately. That means speculation. And in this story, speculation has stakes. If new information comes out, texts showing private plans, co-hosted gala appearances, cross-investment in entertainment, it wouldn't just be interesting. It would raise real questions about how deep this alliance ran, especially if any of those interactions overlapped with moments now part of the trial record. Private jets, hush money arrangements, or finance channels that could fall under federal oversight. What we do know is that Diddy's fall has cracked open a vault of scenes that may contain Musk's cameo. And in the billionaire blueprint, proximity often equals risk, even if it starts in casual brunches or group texts. For now, though, this remains the fog zone, stories incomplete. But that fog might clear as the trial winds down. And when it does, every cameo, whisper, and handshake will be under a spotlight that loves to trace the manufacturable image, one text at a time. This isn't just about Diddy, and it's not just about Elon Musk. It's about the image we sell when the cameras flash and the checks clear. About how easily the myths of billionaires unravel when even one thread gets pulled. Diddy's empire was loud, curated, opulent, and underneath, it may have hidden something rotten. Musk's is sharp, meme-wrapped, and cool, but somewhat clean. But it still depends on belief. And right now, that belief is under pressure. No one's saying Musk is guilty of anything. But billionaires don't just get judged by what they do. They get judged by who they're next to when it all falls apart. And Musk? He said it himself. Puff is a good friend. We text a lot. Maybe it was a throwaway comment. Maybe it was real. But in the age of screenshots, trials, and post-truth media, those little lines echo louder than intended. Especially when your friend is in court accused of trafficking, assault, coercion, and worse. Diddy may face life in prison, or he may walk. But no matter what happens next, the spectacle has already done its damage. Musk's orbit has been touched. And billionaire immunity? It's not what it used to be, because when the wealth is this loud, even the silence leaves a trace. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. These aren't just headlines. These are the plays behind the power and the whispers behind the wealth. Stick around, we're just getting started.